What's going on, everyone? This is Pick6 back, or Anton, giving you a level breakdown, and this is going to be for Operation Metro Conquest. What I'm going to give you is tips and tricks and strategies that I regularly use to win this map. Thing is, they might not work all the time, but trust me, because each individual choice you make influences the outcome, the quality of opponent, your quality of teammates, how you adapt to different strategies, how your opponents adapt to different strategies, and we'll say starting US or Russian also impact it. Strategy might not work all the time, but if you don't have success with it, doesn't mean you scrap it. It's a learning experience. This is why we play video games, basically. It's a different strategy every time, and it's making yourself better. But these are strategies I regularly use to help. And I know everyone's been doing it since the beta. But the thing is, a lot of the videos I've seen since the beta are basically a guy had a good match, and he started saying it was a strategy, even though you could tell there was absolutely no strategy to it. So I learned nothing. But if you know me well enough, you know I like to help people out. You know I like to share my strategies for wins with you. So hope you learned something from it, and here we go. First thing, obviously, is your kit. You should always use assault or support, but my preference would be assault. In the matches here, or even might be not in the matches here, because I'm doing this commentary before I actually edit the video together. I use the KH-2002, the M16A4, the F-2000, and oh yeah, trolls. You're gonna love this one. I also use the USAS with flechettes, not frag, because I think it's cheap. Basically, the reason I have success is figuring out patterns on the other team and exploiting them. The reason I'll use the USAS in some rounds, even though some people, for some reason, have this highly illogical train of thought that because someone's hated a gun, instantly it's unusable, and if you use it, you're no good. Illogical train of thought, not going to listen to it. I'm going to win matches, and I'm going to kick your ass if you think I'm shit with it. Here's the difference. If you use the USAS, and you'll see it in one of the videos here, I get the opponents were tending to bunch up. So using a USAS to take out 2 to 3 guys bunched up in a particular section, because the USAS is one of the few guns that you could actually do it if they're staring at you, puts you in a good position to win. I switched from using the assault class, or I switched from using one of the assault guns to the USAS. Guess what? 56 kills later, I single-handedly won the match. So it's basically choosing your gun type depending on your opponent. I almost never use the USAS anymore, but I definitely use assault class. And I'll use the USAS if I notice that they tend to bunch up together, because it's smart. The smart gun choice equals you getting lots of kills, which equals the win. Sounds smart. I also use a silencer, because a lot of the time I like to flank. The key thing is, though, because I'm a YouTuber and I obviously go for those highlight reel clips a lot of the time, sometimes it's not the best strategy to go for them in the flanks. For example, the US is at an extreme disadvantage in this map, basically on how it's constructed. And the reason for that is, as long as they get B first, the US has 3 routes. They have the first escalator coming from C, and then directly to the right, adjacent to it, is that sort of corridor, the hallway, as they step up to the next level, which overlooks B. And they have the flank escalator, which is basically the opening route that I took in the beginning of this level. I like the flank one the most, and I prefer the second set of escalators as my fallback option. But basically they're at an extreme disadvantage because the Russians can sit anywhere near that flag. They don't even have to shoot anyone. And the Americans are going to have an extremely difficult time getting that flag back. And this is what I meant by going for those clips and why it's not the best strategy all the time. Because if you're on the Russian side and you already have B, because again, and this is one of the key points you should take from this video, whoever gets B flag first is almost certainly going to win. So if you're going to take anything from this video, it's take this. Capture B flag as quickly as possible and defend it with your life, because after that, it's almost 100% certainty, as long as your teammates and you aren't playing stupid, you're going to win. Take B. So basically, going back to what I was saying earlier, as long as you're a Russian side and you're on the top, don't let anyone up the escalators and you're going to win. But the thing is, as a YouTuber, it's hard to balance going for highlight reel flanks versus actually playing smart all the time. Because if I'm Russian, if I guard one escalator all match, I might go 10-0. It's effective strategy and I win the match. But I don't think any of you guys would want to watch it. So it's balancing it. But basically, if you don't have a YouTube channel and you'd like to win matches effectively, just play intelligent. The other thing too is, I always choose assault, going back into that before, is Operation Metro is basically a fight for positioning. It's like two good defensive football teams. It's a battle for field position. And when you can keep your teammates alive, and when you can keep you alive, even sometimes one body is enough to influence a match. For example, if you're starting, like say I'm on the US side, and I'm going up that first set of escalators to that concrete wall that's right in front of B flag. If say 3 of my teammates and me, so 4 in total, swarm behind this wall, but only 3 Russian guys are on the other side, we're going to start taking that flag. If one of our guys gets killed, me being assault reviving him, it goes back to 4 versus 3, we continually take that flag. If we aren't playing as assault and we aren't keeping each other alive, then we give up that flag. Most importantly, it's also a battle for position. Say the 4 of us take that flag. Great. We keep each other alive, we're going well. The more kills you get, the more you push the team back. Because now they have to spawn either at a flag or they have to spawn at, their starting spawn. So it's pushing them back. And in the meantime, you're taking up ground that they previously had, and you're pushing them further and further back. And that's the strategy that you should use every single match. Try to push the other team as far back into their spawn as possible. Kill them, revive teammates, hope your teammates revive you, and push them further back, taking up ground piece by piece, kill by kill. That's the most effective strategy. Especially in a close quarters map like Operation Metro. It's the strategy you should use every single time. Now, the key is going back to what I was saying earlier, the 2 escalators and the corridor, which you regularly use. And this is, again, going back to what I said even earlier than that, why the Americans are at a disadvantage to the Russians, is because it's difficult to take back B flag. It's very difficult to take B flag. The one circumstance I would recommend for recon kit is because you can use a beacon if you die to respawn at that location, and your squad mates can spawn on that location as well. If you're able, another hypothetical example. Say you're, the Americans. You're fighting for B, you happen to retake B. Now, if you know they're going to be coming, setting up a spawn beacon as a recon guy around B so that you and your squad can respawn on and defend B is very effective strategy for recon. I would always prefer assault. I almost always use assault, but that would be the acceptable strategy for recon. To me, engineer isn't really an effective kit. The only reason because outside of using the SMA to break up people all bunched up, it doesn't really offer anything other than that. That's why I don't feel between kit selection that it's the most effective kit to use for this map. Now, the single most effective thing I can probably say in this whole video, besides, taking B and giving up B, is to never give up your own flag in any circumstance. It's the mark of an inferior team to let the enemy get behind you and for them to take your flag. You should never ever lose it. If somehow the enemy does get behind you and start to take your flag, because I know sometimes it does happen, you should either go back and kill them, or message one of your teammates to tell them that someone's taking C and please go back and defend it. Do not let them take it. Doing this is one of the only ways that the team can break your spawn trap. Because if they take the flag, not only is it a new spawn point for the enemy, it pulls your team away from, like say you had a current spawn trap going on. Like as you'll see it perfectly, me breaking a spawn trap in one of the videos where I used the USAS. I almost get killed by the Claymore in one of the videos. But once I kill him, you notice how we're spawn trapped, they're spawn killing us at A before we can even get to A. But I break the spawn trap, because instead of going for B, which is the most important flag, I went to C. And the reason for this is when you take C flag, not only is it, like I said, opening up a spawn for your teammates, what it also does is the enemy team that's at B or A will suddenly have to drop back to try and retake C. They'll realize, oh crap, someone took our flag. So what it does is it takes pressure off your spawn trap teammates. They should be able to retake A now. And basically, you and your respawn teammates that spawned at C could now put up a relevant fight for B. So it basically changes the whole dynamic of a match. So basically, do not give up your own flag, and most importantly, don't give up B. Because as you'll see in that video where I used the USAS, I single-handedly changed the game by taking C, and we put them back in the spawn trap. Beating a team that has both escalators, like I said earlier, especially if you're the American side, is incredibly difficult. That's why the US is at an extreme disadvantage in this. The recon tips that I said earlier are pretty much your only shot at it. The other thing I like to do is I like to use the flank escalator, and I'll sit on the stairs and I'll kill them as they come. Hopefully my squad spawns on me, and that creates another body to hopefully try to take B flag back. But at the same time, you have to rely on the fact that your teammates are well aware of the strategies that you're aware of. Otherwise, most of your efforts probably won't be for anything. A lot of key recon points that I like to use to try and respawn back quickly are the ticket booth right behind B on your way to A if you're the Americans. I like to put it in spots that are right around B so that our teammates are able to respawn quickly. That's the only acceptable time I'd say to use recon in. Other than that though, basically these were the strategies that I like to use. It's basically, to wrap up, to sum it up really quick, always take B as quickly as possible. Always know basically your map layout, and there's three ways if you're on the US side coming up. It's the flank escalator, which is the back one behind B, the first set of escalators, which is the one that takes you up in front of the wall at B, and the hallway corridor, which is the first set of escalators off to the right. There's that corridor that brings you up to the level of where B flag is. Those are the three routes you can take to try and take B if you're the American side, and it's pivotal to success that you know and use them at the appropriate times. You can use the recon kit to flank and also respawn to try to take B if you need to. Always use assault, because keeping your teammates alive and keeping yourself alive, it enables you to try and push the other team back further by retaking ground by killing them, and also keeping teammates alive. Even so much sometimes one body helps to retake flags. The assault class is the single most important class to use in this type of match. Anyway, hope you guys learned from these strategies. I'll try and match the videos up as much as I can. If you liked it, leave a like, and if you'd like to see a level breakdown in the future for other levels, recommend it in the comments. See you later.